Hey guys, this is Martin from Team Alchemy, and I've been informed from Drac that we could use some other content on the channel rather than just draft videos and match videos. So I thought I would do a deck tech of the Jund deck that I played at the IQ at Galactic Quest. So here it is, and let's start with the creatures. First off, we have 3 Scavenging Ooze. Scavenging Ooze, if you played pre-rotation when it first came out on M14, it was very, very good because there were a lot of Reanimator decks and a lot of Graveyard Interaction decks, and Scavenging Ooze really helped counteract that. It can exile a target card, and if that card was a creature, you get a +1/+1 counter and you gain 1 life. Now, there aren't a lot of Graveyard Interaction decks in the current standard, but with the amount of removal that we have in Jund, it's still a very, very good card, and it can gain you a lot of life, and it can become a threat really, really quickly. So overall, it's really good, and there's 3 in the deck. Next off, we have Pelucanos, the World Eater. It's a 5/5 body, which is for 2 colorless and 2 green, which is really, really good. It has a monstrosity of XX in green, and when it becomes monstrous, it deals X damage where you can divide it among the creatures that your opponents control. So let's say, for example, your opponent controls a lot of 1 toughness creatures. Pelucanos can just become monsters and eat them away one after another. So he's a very, very good pseudo removal creature. Now there's only 2 in the deck because of the legendary rule, and it says that the legendary rule states that you cannot have 2 legendaries of the same name at the same time on your side of the field. So that's why there's only 2. So it's a good balance. And I feel it's a very, very good blocker, and it's a 5/5 body for 4 mana, and it's great. Next up, we have Stormbred Dragon, and Stormbred Dragon pretty much replaces Thundermaw Hellkite, which rotated out on M13. Rest in peace, Thundermaw. And it's a 4/4 flying haste protection from white for 3 colorless and 2 red, and when it becomes monstrous for 7, it deals damage to each opponent equal to the number of cards in their hand. And this is the protection from white on the dragon is very, very good because it is protected from a lot of control decks, which if they use Azorius Charm or the Attention Sphere, they can't touch it. And that's why it's very, very good. It's also very good against mono white creatures, and one creature in general, and that creature is Bloodbaron of Vizkopa, because Bloodbaron of Vizkopa has protection from black and white, but it does not have protection from red, whereas Stormbred Dragon has protection from white. So Stormbred Dragon can pretty much just block Bloodbaron all day. So overall, very good card, and if you get the mana ramp, you can put them out on turn 4 and start swinging and wreak havoc. Next, we have Sylvan Carey, which is pretty much our mana ramp. It's 1 colorless and 1 green for a 0/3 defender with hexproof, and tap it, you add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. So pretty much our mana ramp and mana fixer if we have any problems. This pretty much replaced our Farseek, which was a card from N13 that rotated out, which allowed us to get a Shockland from our deck and put it into play. Since that rotated out, we were given this, and it's been pretty good so far. And it's a really good blocker against the aggro matchups. But against the control matchups, you can probably side those out if needed. In the control matchups, you can the games usually go on very, very long, and you really don't need those. Then we have Reaper of the Wilds. I personally think Reaper of the Wilds is a very good card. It's a 4/5 for 2 colorless, 1 black and 1 green, and has a bunch of abilities. When another creature dies, you get to scry 1. And what that means is that if you block a creature and that creature dies, you get to scry 1. In addition, if there is a board wipe that clears, let's say 5 creatures, one of which is including Reaper of the Wilds, you get 4 scry 1 triggers, one after another. So if you scry once and you don't like it, you can scry again up to 4 times in that situation, and you can keep on scrying until you find the card that you want. And so that's very, very useful. And the second ability is 1 black, Reaper of the Wilds gains Death Touch until end of turn. This makes Reaper of the Wilds a great blocker because it can deal with creatures that are bigger than it, and it kill it right away because of the Death Touch. The third ability, which is 1 colorless, 1 green, and Reaper of the Wilds gains hexproof until end of turn. That's one of the reasons why I think Reaper of the Wilds should be played on maybe turn when you have at least 6 mana, because when you play Reaper of the Wilds, you have the mana to protect it from being destroyed from your opponent. So overall, I think it's a very good card and it's a very good addition to the deck. Now moving on to the spells, we have 2 Thoughtseize in the deck, and Thoughtseize, which is a modern and legacy staple, is reprinted in Theros. And if you don't know, Thoughtseize is a 1 black spell that targets a player. That player reveals his or her hand, and you get to decide which card, non-land card, they have to discard, and you lose 2 life. What's so great about this is that you get to look at their hand, disrupt any of the plans really quickly, and get to plan ahead on how you want to approach the match. So basically, you get to plan ahead and just pretty much know what's going to come forth, and you will be able to prepare for it. Next, we have Hero's Downfall, which is a souped-up version of Murder, which was a 1 colorless, 2 black spell that says destroy target creature. But in Theros, we get this spell, which is 1 colorless and 2 black, which is the same mana cost, but you can destroy target creature or planeswalker. And this spell is very great because if your opponent plays a planeswalker, you can kill it at the end of your turn, and they can't benefit off of the second activation. So overall, a very, very good card, and there's 4 in the deck because it's just such a great card. Next, we have a Replica, which we have 4 of. It's a black and green instant speed that can't be countered and destroys non-land permanent of converted mana cost 3 or less. And this card is a very good card against a lot of small and quick creatures. It will deal things with like Boros Reckoner, any Chandra's Phoenix, stuff like that. And it can also deal with a bunch of enchantments such as Detention Sphere, or maybe a Hammer of Peripherals, or stuff like that are very, very quick, and you're able to instant speed kill it before it becomes a problem. So it is also a very, very good card, and that's why there's 4 in the deck. Moving on, there's 1 Putrefy in the main deck, and I think Putrefy is pretty good in the format right now because with the introduction of Theros, there's a lot of enchantment artifacts, and I think that it's very, very hard for John in particular to get rid of these. That's why I think Putrefy is very, very well positioned right now, and you can destroy things like Whip of Erebos or like Bite into Thassa. So I think it's just very good, very good. And there's 1 more in the sideboard, which I'll go over in case you run into any of those. Next up, we have 2 Rakdos Return, and Rakdos Return is a very, very good spell. It's an X, black and red, and it deals X damage, and that player discards X cards. Now, if you're playing against a mid-range or control matchup, it's very, very good. If you have enough mana, you can make them discard their whole hand, and they pretty much have to rely on top decking from then on, unless they have a draw mechanic to get back into the game. So playing one of these with the enough amount of mana will pretty much shift the game in your favor. Next, we have 2 Golgari Charms, which is, I think Golgari Charm is really, really good right now, because for 1 black and 1 green, you can do one of 3 things. All creatures get -1/-1 till end of turn, you can destroy an enchantment, or you can regenerate all creatures that you control. Golgari Charm is just so versatile. Against aggro matchups, you can kill their creatures instantly if they have 1 toughness. Against a lot of enchantments, which is pretty much the backbone of Theros right now, you can destroy all those enchantments. And if they have a board wipe, you just pretty much regenerate your creatures, and they just wasted a card, and while your creatures stay on the field. Next, we have Whip of Erebos, which I mentioned earlier. It's one of the legendary enchantment artifacts with 2 colorless, 2 black, and creatures you control have lifelink. And with the same mana cost, you can tap it and return a creature from your graveyard to the battlefield. It gains haste, and if it's removed in any way, it's exiled. This just pretty much allows our threats that were destroyed become threats again, and it just applies a lot of pressure, and it's very, very versatile and has a lot of utility. Lastly, we have Read the Bones, which is a souped up version of Sign in Blood that was an M13. It's a 2 colorless black spell that is scry 2, draw 2 cards, then lose 2 life. And I think this is much better because it allows us to see the cards that we want to draw, and if we don't like them, we can put them back in the bottom of our deck and draw 2 new cards. And I think that helps out a lot because we need to draw our answers very, very quickly. Now moving on to the mana base, it's pretty simple. It's just one of every dual land that we have access right now, which is 4 Overrun Tombs, 4 Stomping Grounds, 4 Blood Crypts, and 4 Temple of Abundance. We don't have the Gruul, not Gruul, we have the Gruul, the Golgari or the Rakdos Temple, and we have to wait until Born of the Gods for us to get those. So that's pretty simple. Then for basic lands, we have 2 mountains, 4 swamps, and 3 forests. And the reason we're heavy on the black and the green is because we want to hit our mana ramp, which is Sylvan Caryatid, but we also want to hit our removal spell mana for Hero's Downfall, Thoughtseize, and Abrupt Decay. So yeah, that's pretty much the main deck, and I'll be back soon for the sideboard. Alright, so here's the sideboard for the Jund deck. It's pretty simple, so let me walk you through it. There's 2 more Thoughtseize in addition to the 2 in the main board. I've already explained that how Thoughtseize is really good. These could be added into against control matchups or mid-range matchups to get rid of their removal, their counter spells, their big threats. And you can also board these in against red-white devotion decks because they have cards like Brave the Elements or Boros Charm to protect their creatures from removal. And if you want to like 100% get rid of their creatures, you kind of want to Thoughtseize those away before actually putting down your removal. So those are some of the matchups in which you can side those in. The next one is 2 Underworld Connections, and these are usually put in for the control matchups because if you keep on playing card after card and we don't have any card draw other than Read the Bones, you're going to start to fall behind, and you don't really want to fall behind against a control player because you're just going to be at a huge disadvantage, and this Underworld Connections help you catch back up. And then here's a third Rakdos Return in the sideboard, and I've already explained how good it is against the mid-range and control matchups. An extra one does not hurt and actually really helps out. It's usually not boarded in against aggro matchups because they pretty much just dump their hand onto the field before you can get enough mana to put it in for this to be effective. And that's pretty much it. It's a great card. A third one on the sideboard does not hurt. Next we have Mistcutter Hydra. This is an X and green creature. It can't be countered, has haste and protection from blue, and it comes in with X +1/+1 counters. This guy's really great against the blue-white control matchups because they can't really deal with it. They can't Azorius Charm it, they can't Detention Sphere it, it can't even counter it. The only way that they can get rid of it 100% is with the board wipe. This is the same thing with the mono blue matchups. The mono blue decks can't really do anything against this other than Overload's Iconic Rift. So this is a very good card against those matchups. Then we have Missing Mortars. It's a pretty good removal spell. It's a 1 colorless, 1 red, and it deals 4 damage to target creature you don't control with an overload of 3 colorless and 3 red. This overload pretty much just wipes their deals damage to all their creatures, 4 damage specifically to all their creatures, your opponent's creatures. And this card is really put here in the sideboard for 1 creature in general, and that's Bloodbaron of Vizkopa. And even with the amount of removal that we have, it's still really hard for us to deal with Bloodbaron, and this is a pretty good answer to that. And it's something that I'm pretty scared of as a Jund player, and I need something to deal with it. Next we have 3 Anger of the Gods, which is a 1 colorless, 2 red board wipe, and it's 3 damage to all creatures, and any creature that is killed from Anger of the Gods is exiled. Now there's 3 problems and that non-synergies that come with the deck when I run Anger of the Gods. And one is that it will kill your Sylvan Caryatid, and even though it's kind of bad that you're losing your mana ramp, it's kind of necessary against the aggro matchups in which your board is just too huge for you to handle. The second one is that Scavenging Ooze cannot eat the creatures killed by Anger of the Gods, so it can't really get any bigger off that. The third one is that Reaper of the Wild's Scry trigger does not trigger from the creatures killed by Anger of the Gods. So it's somewhat non-synergistic, but I think it's very necessary against the aggro matchups because the aggro players will have a board that will pretty much dominate you if you don't have a board wipe. And we have a bunch of removal, but we have no board wipe that's very, very relevant in that matchup. And finally, you have one more Putrefy, and I've already explained in the main board why it's pretty good. And having one more in the sideboard doesn't hurt. So if you have any big creatures, or if you see another Whip of Erebos or Bident, you can just add this in, and that will take care of that. So that's pretty much my deck tech for my Jund deck. If you like this, please give this video a like. And if you have any other deck you would like me to deck tech, please comment down below on what deck you would like to see. This is Martin from Team Alchemy signing off.